At the end of the day, parenting is a collection of moments, some big, some small, most of them ordinary. But every now and then, something we do, some ritual, some repeated gesture, sticks. It becomes a tradition. And those traditions are the things our kids carry with them long after the season passes, long after childhood is gone. I'm Dr. Cameo Carter, board certified pediatrician and mom of 3. And on today's episode, as Christmas fills the air again, I want to talk about the power of traditions in parenting, both the magical ones and the simple ones we can weave into everyday life. Christmas for me as a kid was pure magic. My parents didn't just celebrate Christmas, they crafted an entire world. We completely, fully believed in Santa Claus, and my parents fed into that belief with everything they had. My dad would climb up onto our roof on Christmas night as I just crawled into bed and began to get more sleepy, and then he would stomp around like reindeer hooves. There'd be jingly bells, the sound of someone or something moving around up there. And my grandma, she'd snuggle close with me, both of us giggling under the covers, whispering how about we needed to lie perfectly still so Santa wouldn't know we were awake. It was that mix of excitement and reverence, the kind that makes you hold your breath without even realizing it. My parents were the kind who would stay up all night finishing whatever they were building for me. One year they built an entire playhouse in the backyard. And in my little girl mind, it just appeared overnight. Christmas magic in its purest form. Decorating the house right after Thanksgiving wasn't optional, it was a mission. Reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" on Christmas Eve was non-negotiable. Leaving out milk and cookies, freshly baked, of course, was essential. These were the anchors, the things I could count on every single year. And those rituals shaped me. When I became a mom, it wasn't even a question. I carried these traditions straight into my boys' childhoods. We did the Advent calendars every year, the same ones pulled out like old friends. We brought in Elf on the Shelf, but we just didn't do it. We went full production, mischief, hijinks, miniature scenes. And then our annual party, Elf Party, we added with costumes, acting out the movie, indoor snowball fights, eating spaghetti with syrup, chugging soda, reciting lines. It was and is chaotic and ridiculous and so unbelievably fun. My dad, when my kids were little, still committed to the roof bit. He climbed up on the roof for my boys too. And then my little brother ended up joining in. And I got to be the one snuggling with my babies, holding our collective breath, waiting for Santa to be convinced we were fast asleep. My boys would freeze in place, terrified of moving even an inch. Eventually, they'd begin to conk out mid-vigil, only after hearing those sounds. And every year, my heart would just about burst. I believed so deeply in Santa as a young girl that when I finally figured out in early grade school, I confessed to my parents, but added one caveat. Don't tell Grandma. I don't think she knows yet. I truly thought I was protecting her. That's what tradition does. It becomes so sacred, it feels like truth. When my own boys learned that Santa was a concept more than a person, I told them what my parents had told me. It doesn't take away the magic. It just means you're on the other side of magic now. You get to become the magic maker. And I still love doing that for them. Even now, with big boys in college, I'm racing around, getting the house Christmas perfect, making sure every tradition is set up and waiting for them the second they walk in the door. They look forward to it. They value it. And that tells me it mattered. And traditions don't have to be extravagant. They just need to be intentional. We often think of traditions as events, holidays, birthdays, big productions. But some of the most meaningful ones happen quietly. A certain meal you cook every Sunday, a song you always play on the first day of school or every morning on your way to school, a nighttime phrase you say before bedtime, a yearly hike you do, a yes day, the way you always bake muffins on the first cold morning of the year. These tiny rituals become the scaffolding of childhood. They say, you can count on this. You can count on us. This is home. Kids don't need grand gestures. They need repetition and rhythm, something to anchor us, something to anchor them as everything else in the growing world shifts. What I love most, especially being a mom of older kids, is that traditions evolve, but they don't disappear. My boys are adults now. They fly home from college. They're taller than me. They schedule their own lives. And still, they want the same things they had at 5 and 10 and 12. They want the decorations. They want the advent calendar, the cookies, the movies, the roof noises, the rituals. And here's the beautiful truth of parenting. Tradition keeps us tethered to our children long after they grow up. It becomes something shared, a secret language of the family. When they walk into the house at Christmas and see that everything is set, the energy in the room changes. Their shoulders drop. They're home. And not just geographically, they're home emotionally. That is the gift of tradition. That is why it matters. So at the end of the day, traditions are not about perfection. They aren't always about Pinterest-worthy moments or elaborate setups. They are about connection, about creating small, repeated anchors of joy and belonging. As we head into this holiday season and into the rest of the year, remember, you don't need a rooftop Santa operation to create magic. Just start somewhere. Pick something, make it yours, and repeat it. Your kids won't remember the chaos or the mess or the year you were tired and winging it, but they will remember how those things felt. And feeling becomes memory. Memory becomes tradition. And tradition becomes the legacy of a family. I'm Dr. Cameo Carter, and this is At the End of the Day. Thanks for listening, and may your season be full of intentional magic.